Okay, back on our heads here. So these are the 65. They already got the valves and stuff in them already. So the 58 here, we need to go ahead and get the guides fitted up. Already got guides in here, but we gotta get the intake valves cut up for them. And we got the exhaust valves over here. These have to be worked on too. So these have already been ground and back cut on the seat here, and then the stems have been honed. The intakes here have not been done yet, so I got to do those. And then we have to hone the guides to fit. So let's go ahead and get that all set up to do. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get the boxes out of the way. So first thing I do is figure out what size valves we're going to be measuring with. So we need to figure that out. So we got our indicator right here. Wipe that off on something clean. Be a yellow shirt. Okay, this is our dial bore gauge. So it's a barrel style. This is a dial bore gauge here, which is a pin style. This one sucks, made wrong. $600 tool ain't made right. So the problem with this is this ball and this roundish area over here where it pushes against. There's another ball indent right here. They have to be exactly 180 across. If they're like this, you can't measure a hole. And this is like this. So when you measure a hole, your indicator, instead of being dead straight, has to be cocked like this to wherever these are 180 across to get your measurement. When you put this straight, it's a different number. So when you go deep in a hole, you can't cock it to be straight. So you got a bogus number. So this thing is made completely wrong. So to fix it, I'd have to remake this thing with a titty on it, which isn't going to happen. So that's material for you, crap. Of course, they don't want to do anything about it. Normal. It's been sitting there for years like that. Now this one over here, what happens to these is these get all rounded over, so you can see that flat spot in there. So the same thing, when you're flat, very little movement makes the dial change quite a bit. It makes it so it doesn't want to read accurately. So you have to replace these every now and then too. Okay, so right now we have the wrong size on here. We got to go to a 3/8. This one's a 5/16 for doing Evos and Sportster intakes. So you have a whole kit full of these things at different ends. So this is the 3/8 version. Now I have reground this many times, so it's not exactly dead nuts perfect. That's a lot better than that stupid ass one over there, pin gauge, when it has no accuracy to it at all. Okay, now the way you set these is you have 4 gauges or standards. So this one's for a 3/8. These are SPI used to make these years ago. Now they don't make this stuff anymore. Nobody does this kind of crap anymore. So this is a 0.3750 plus or minus probably a 5/10. Of course they figure it's closer than that. So what you do is you set your bore gauge, kind of wiggle around a little bit, find the spot where you want it to be, move the 0 over to it. Thing's kind of lazy on how it reacts, so it's probably cold like everything else in the building. See, now I just went back to the lower number I just had. It's hard to get these things to repeat to a 1/10, but okay, close enough. So once you get that set, you go measure your hole. You know how much you got to cut. So if it's 375 is the size of your stem, counting clearance, then this would be at 0. This is not 375 plus clearance, so this will not be 0. So it's going to give you plus or negative depending on which way you're going. So this particular one here, it says it was 0.3743 tenths. So you grab your tenth mic here, and you measure it. So it is 374. You go over here in your vernier scale and you see what lines up. And it appears to be 3/10. See right over here, it's on the 3. Over here it's on 3. So you measure the stem in multiple places to make sure you're the same. Okay, so this is coming at 3. So that was what that number up there was. Okay, now you go to my cheat sheet, which I made up years ago. And shovel. One cheat sheet. So this is for pan, shovel, PM valve, because rows are different. This is my ideal size, if everything is right. Of course they vary. So, on the intake I use 1.4 thou clearance, which is 14 tenths. The exhaust we do 19 tenths, which is 1.9 thou clearance. So, you go in here, you plug in the number you got for the exhaust, because we're doing exhaust. This is intake. So, we have 370, what? 3743. So we have no 3743 number on here. That doesn't help us very much. Different cheat sheet. So this was for the row valves. Exhaust. 374043 right down here, and that will be 12 tenths. So what you're doing is you're taking the valve, you measure the stem, you add in the 1.9 thou clearance, which is 19 tenths, and that'll give you a number. Then you subtract that from 375, which is what this is set at, and that will give you the number over here that you want. So we're going to hone it down to 12 plus. So that should be 12. So there should have been a 12 on here somewhere. It's 12 right here. Hard to read, but it's on there. This one over here has got 11 on it. So this one was 11, this one here was 12. So when you put in the guide, this will be negative, this will be positive. See how it's negative and positive? So when the guide's at the right size, this will be over here on 11 or 12, depending on which valve it is. And I hone them to within a 10. So that's what I shoot for. Okay, so that's how those come out. Now these here haven't been done yet, so I got to clean these all up, get these good. Now this head over here has already had all this done, but I got to check it because I don't know if these valves are in there or not. It looks like they were fitted for it, but then they got taken out and put away, so I don't know what happened to them. Okay, this one here has a 12 written on it. It has a 43 number on it too. So we're on the exhaust. So we go ahead and measure this and see what we come in at. I'm getting about a 13 in that one spot. I'm not sure how I'm going to hold this where you can actually see it, but you put that into the guide, go in a little ways, and you wiggle around a little bit. You see we're coming around 13, 14-ish, but you have to hold it just exactly right to get where you want it to be. And you pull it out and you should be about the same. So this one was already done. So that was about 13 or 14. It looks like it was supposed to be 12, so we got an extra tenth in there. Okay, so that one's runnable. Now this is the oversized intake valve, and it appears this is supposed to be 31. So let's hold the head up. Oop. Stick it in here. And see how close we are to 31. Looks like we're about 35 or 36. So this one's a little bit bigger. So this has a little extra clearance. It's basically got almost exhaust clearance on it. So if you're going to run a little bit hotter motor, like if you're going to do a lot of low RPM parade type work, you run a little bit looser clearances in it so it doesn't stick. So this motor's good for that. Or he's living in Texas where it's going to be hotter than hell. And you want a little extra clearance for them applications. Okay, this valve is supposed to be 32. So we'll measure him out. And it comes in about the same area. So here's this motor set up for loose clearances. And exhaust is 11 on this one. And we're about 14. This one was, what's the intake? 31. This one's supposed to be 12. So this one's about a tenth looser, and the other one's going to swap the valves. That'll equalize our clearances. So we got a little extra clearance for hot weather running, so you don't have to worry about sticking anything. And you can tell how tight they are still by listening to the valve clicking back and forth. Can you even hear it? You see the valve head maybe moving a little bit. It's still pretty tight, even though it sounds like it's not. It sounds like it's too loose now. It's actually still pretty tight. I don't know if you can see the valve moving any, but so anyway, so they're set up pretty good. So now I got the valves where I want them to be, so I'm going to keep the valves in this position. So this one here already has an F on it for front, and this one already has an F on it for front too. So it looks like these might be the valves I had set up in this thing originally, and they got put away for some reason. And this one here, this one has an F on it too, and it's now a rear. This one's a rear. So this valve here doesn't have an R on it. Now if we go over here, this one has a 12. Here's an 11 with an R on it. So yeah, we'll put that one over here. There we go. And they both got bill written on them too, so all these have bill on them. Good. 3 out of 4 of them have Bill written on them, so it must be Bill's valves, whoever Bill is. Alright, so these are going to be the ones we're going to use over here. So we have 11 and 12. So we're going to shoot for those two. So that makes it nice confusing to somebody maybe. So, alright, so that's how we're going to do that. So now I'm going to go ahead and clean these valves up, and we'll be back. Okay, we just got done doing the valve job on these 58 heads. We got the parts here for the 65 right here, and there's the valves, and we're getting ready to do the heads. So they're sitting up here in the machine. And we're getting ready to go ahead and do some cutting. So we're going to do the intakes first, which is going to be kind of hard to see. So actually, camera over here, you can see what they look like right now. So right now the seats are way up here. Now the cutter is going to go ahead and blow out the inside of the hole here and open it up just like we did on the 58 heads. Except these ones aren't as sunk as deep as the other heads. And it should be, and the valve guide should be a lot straighter. So this should be a lot better set. Hopefully. We'll see. Okay, so I got them in there, but they're not bolted in yet. So, pilot to go up a couple sides on these. Wipe them down on a clean rag. That'd be my Tatro machine shirt. See, clean. So you can tell which side of the shirt I use for cleaning stuff. See, this side's dirty, this side's clean. That's what these yellow shirts are for. They show how to use them. push these down a little bit of pressure. A couple of back and forth movements. Make sure there's nothing in there. You take your level right here. Clean off the puke so you can see the top of it. Stick it up on there and adjust your heights. First you got to set this angle, which will be right here. Push it up, lock it down. Fine tuning with a hammer. Then you turn it sideways and you rotate the head to get that to come in. Wrong direction. As you tighten the heads down, it actually warps the head a little bit. Yeah, this one's not moving like it usually does. There it goes. Put a little tension in the bolts, not a lot. And that'll center the head up. You come back and set your other angle again because it moves slightly. Okay, we got that in the center now. Come on, get off there. So there's your bubble. So you see how it's straight either way you turn it. So that makes that straight. Now as you tighten the head down, you're on a thin flange over here. So it actually buckles the head like this, which changes the valve guide angle side to side this way. Because it actually flexes the head like this. And that will affect your seat angles a little bit, but it is what it is. You try not to do it too much. Okay, this head here, this valve guide's pretty even with that one, so that's a good sign. That means they're probably both pretty close. So you can see how far off the rotation is, so we just have to rotate this around to get it. So you rotate back and forth like this. Then you tighten those nuts up under here, these nuts here, to hold it. Pretty simple way of doing things. But it does take a little back and forth. When I want to bend it. Fine tuning. All right. Turn it the other way, see where it's at. Pretty close. Average out the errors. Looks good. Now they're both equally off, just a skosh. Alright, so they're set. Push that in. Now we have our color cover set. Not covers, damn it. Cutter set. So we're going to be using this one here. Well, we're going to use this one here. I forget which one we're using. It was a 9, I think. That'd be this one, not the 8. And this is my top angle here. All right. So this cuts a bunch of different angles all at once. See, multiple angles. Okay, let's go see what this one does. It has an air chuck in this way here, an air leak. So it has a little plate up under here that goes up and down. Push my, got a foot trigger, controls it. So you want to keep centering it up until it's dead nut centered. The further down I go, the more I do that. At some point we're going to hit. There it goes. It's a lot more on-centered than the other head was. Okay. Work the top of the seat. And come in with the other cutter. Bring her in. I wonder if I got the right cutter I'm using. Coming pretty quick. I have my doubts about this. If in doubt, check it, right? Probably should have checked it first. Yeah. That's why. Wrong cutter. That's why it came in so fast. Should have checked it first. Oh well. Yep. This one looks a lot better. We'll use this one now. Oops. Yeah, we'll go cut the other head. Make sure the cutter's dialed in. Next. Not getting late, is it? Yeah, lots of boring in on that one. Check this cutter here. Everything's in the way around here. It looks all right. Try to get as close as I can in here so you can see the most. It's hard to see when you're doing intakes. All right. This is top cut. Just cuts the inside of the chamber down. Alright, we got that one cut. Come in with the other one. Cut the rest of it. I think we're right on the edge of that. All right. So this one here I used basically the wrong cutter, which is probably the exhaust seat size. So I got to trim that back out. So when you trim it, it's going to look like this. You know, it puts a nice radius inside of here. It's actually a parabolic curve, so it flows real nice around the valve head. So our valve head's over here. Here's the front one. So as soon as this valve lifts up, it flows around that curve. You can see in there, you can even see under the seat real quick. So it lets the air flow real nice around it. So even though you lower the compression a little bit, it makes it flow a lot better. You pick up more horsepower. So that's the difference over here. Okay, I'm going to have to lap this valve in, see where the seat sits. See if I'm in the right spot. And then I got to match up the other one. And hopefully the install heights will be similar. Alright, so I'm going to use a little bit of lapping compound here. Yeah, a little bit too much. Wrapper to get old. Alright. Okay, you can see the edge of the seat there. I clean the tail out. Okay, so the gray mark is the seat. The little shiny spot above the seat is our clearance above. And that lets, so when the seat wears down a little bit, the valve won't dig in the hole. And it's nice and even all the way around. That's what you want to see. Then you want to see the same thing in the port. Get back up there. And we're right up on the edge of the seat. You see the seat mark right there. It's right up in the edge there. So it's got a nice clean seat all the way around it. So that's what you want to see. Okay, we'll go ahead and cut this one and do the same thing on this one. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hog out some of the metal, the big chunks of just the outside cut, blow that away, get out of the way. Alright, I can Gets a bunch of that out of the way real quick and easy. Now we come in with a final cut. We'll mark there so I can see a little better. Bring this down until it gives me a good seat. Cut the inside of the seat out. Make it real big with some more airflow. Okay. And they're pretty good now. Give this just a little bit more of this color. That's what I'm waiting for. Yep. Didn't need much, just a little bit. Yep, there's the mark I'm looking for. Pretty close. Alright, so it's all cleaned. Okay, now we do the lap for the other one. Rear valve. Okay, let's see what we get. All right, so you can see the same lock mark on the valve. That's where it belongs. Looks good. And let's see, we got our mark on this side. Looks pretty faint, but it's on there. It's right here above my nail. So it goes right around. All the way around like it's supposed to. We're good. You can see how the inside of the throat is all bored out, tapered. Now if you go in here and cut this out with a cutter, you can make this even bigger. You can pick up some more power and do some porting in there, but he didn't want to get too carried away on this job. Okay, so now I'm going to check the install lights and see if the two valves are closed, because I had to sink them quite a bit to get the seats to clean up. Because the valve job was done before, I had the valves sunk in there inside the stock chamber. Alright, so we flip these up. Yeah, go around about that far, I guess. Okay, so we get them over here, we get to the valves. Okay, so this is the rear head one, which is over here. I didn't bring my tool with me to check that with. 1/6" scale comes in handy for lots of different things. Rotate rotate this around a little bit further. There we go. I'm going to measure this best I can anyway. Hard to see in here. So pick a spot you want to measure from. Looks like it's about 420-ish. Measure this one. I'm measuring to the keeper groove here at the top of the guide. There it is. Pretty damn close. I think they're within about 10th of each other. That's pretty amazing considering how much they got sunk. Alright, so they both cleaned up about the same, so that's good. Whoa. Spring just got me. Yeah. Dropped a cutter on the floor. Nailed my hand. That's good for the bit when you drop these things on the floor. That's why you have a soft floor. Plastic tile on my floor. Okay. Flip this back around. There we go. Now I'm going to switch over to this side. Actually, I'll flip it up a little bit so you can see. See what this cut looks like. Get a better idea of perspective of what it is. So there's a cut. So you see how it sculpts, it cuts around the head a little bit. This one here is a little bit deeper on the one side over here. This one's more even. This one's pretty well even all the way around. This one's a little bit fatter on this side than this side. A little bit of a core shift. That's why it looks a little bit deeper. You can see the clearance to here is about identical, see, about the same depth. But everything is dimensional because it changes from casting to casting. Anyway, you can see how it flows around this pretty good once you get in there. Actually, obviously you can bore the throat out in here a little more if you wanted to, but just doing that will make it run a lot better. Alright, so now I'm going to do the exhaust. That's just going to be the stock size. I'm going to clean it up. So, you see the same lip in there on both sides. So I'm going to clean it up until the lip goes away. And then check our installed height and hopefully it'll be close to what the intakes are. Usually the intakes are higher when they're bigger, but we had to sink them so far they'll probably come out about equal. At least that's what I'm hoping for. We'll see. Okay, we're not using this cutter again, so this way. Not using this one either. I'm using different cutters. Just like we use two different pilots too. Okay, this pilot's our big one, which is the problem. It bottoms out. Yeah. So we probably can't cut with this one. Just check the center with it though. Alright, let's see how accurate the bottom guides are on this motor. So ideally you should be able to just flip the head each direction and the guides will be perfectly lined up. It actually does happen every now and then, but it's rare. Most of the time they're close. But so we get our center figured out, rotate it, see how far off it is. Yeah, it's way the hell off. That's normal. This one here. A little bit more on this angle. We're going to have to adjust the angle on this one a little bit. Now this one's almost perfect right here. That's good. So that part's on center. This guy here is a little bit off from this one. It's one line off on the bubble. But yeah, these two guys here are lined up right in line. They're perfect. This one over here, not so much. It's way over. So I have to go over here and loosen the head up. And make an adjustment. This one will be adjusted enough, so I'm going to loosen them all up. Major drop on the stud clearances. Nothing to hit on. Right there. Okay. See if this changed this way. Slightly. Pretty much the same. And this one we'll have to adjust it. It's relying on the bubble off. Okay. So we can't just go from this to here. We got to make an adjustment. No big deal. That's common. I think it's too far out. Yep. Let's position in. Alright. Yep, now we're in the right spot. We can work on it. Okay, the cutter's already preset, so we should be able just to poke it and do our cut. Come back out, call it done. So let's see how that actually works. This is our top cut here. We'll go ahead and give it a little bit of a top cut first. Be careful about doing this first. Knocking the lip down is what I'm doing. Still in there. Alright. Get the lip out. Mark it a little bit so you can see. You might be able to see a little bit too of the camera. Well, that's got a big lip on it still. So I just kind of roughed it in. It's still got to be cut more. Okay, now we're going to put our cutter, the actual valve cutter size in here. Something ain't right. Alright, what the fuck am I doing? I am screwing up left and right tonight. Wrong cutter. And that probably just screwed up that seat. I just did these jobs an hour and a half ago. You think I remember which cutters to use. Fuck. When you're cutting and nothing's happening, you got a problem. Alright, let's see if I did any damage on that. Small enough it shouldn't hurt too bad, hopefully. If not, we're putting a seat in it. And it is right there where it needs a seat, I think. It's really, really close. We'll see. But I think it's going to have a seat put in it now. damn it. Oh, shit. Twice. Same set of heads screw up. I came over the last time I'd done that once. That part's correct. Yep, that came right in like I wanted it to. Alright, yeah, we'll see. So it looks good. Way on the inside. So this side of the head's a lot higher up anyway. That side's in. That came in a lot quicker. That means that side's really screwed. Something else I forgot to do. Forgot to center the head back up. That's just another little trim cut just to make sure it's square. That wasn't much of a difference. It cost me about 10 or so. Good. Yep. That color's good. All right. I think that's screwed. Well, we'll see. Definitely didn't help it any, that's for damn sure. It probably screwed it up for good. Alright, this one here is the front one. That looks good. That looks like crap. Yep, that didn't help any. Alright, that one's done. Alright, here's the damage. Okay, there's your seat right there. Pull back a little bit. Sheet going all the way around. And you can see how there's a little bit of a port on the inside of the seat here. Little area. Right here's gold area. This one over here, we don't have that. The seat's actually right there above my finger, and it's only about half the width because it got cut off and I had the wrong cutter in there. Because a dumbass. Now, if I sink the valve down a little bit deeper, I have to go down about 30 thou, I'll be fine. The seat will come right back in. But until I do that, it's screwed. Now, one thing I can do to help cheat a little bit. How wide is that seat? It's hard to see how wide the seat really is. I can go and move the seat out a little bit further on the valve head. Because see, this is not quite all the way out to the edge of the valve. It's close, but it's not all the way. So I can move it out all the way out to the outside edge and get away with it. And then it'll be alright. Basically it's screwed. Now to put a seat in these heads, it might cause more damage than it's worth, so that is a toss-up. So it's getting late, so I think I'll let the customer figure that one out. See what he wants to do. But for now, I'm going to check some valve install heights. See, I'm right here and plan. Likely that valve has been sunk in the head a little bit already. Cutter. Okay, here's my checking tool. Let's go see what we got on the exhaust. I'm going to check it with on this one. Dark to see in here. I think about 380. So the intakes are sunk quite a bit more than the exhaust is. Jam myself. Okay, this one's only maybe 10 thou lower than the other one, which is a plus. So that's not too bad. Let me measure the intake height. Can't read anything. Everything I'm doing is dark, in the wrong position. Makes it hard to get anything done. Anything help any at all. Still dark. Okay. Where's 400 at? I'm only about 300. Yeah, we're only about 325. So the exhausts are quite a bit sunk compared to the intakes. It doesn't surprise me because the valve is bigger, it moves it up. So that's going to give us some problems with install height probably on the intake. Let me double check this to make sure that's what's going on. Oh yeah. That's about 380. I'll measure with the caliper just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure these valves are sunk pretty much. So about 1593, 605, 603, 595. So we're within a 10 thou window there. Go to the other side and see how far off it is. This one's coming around 85 or so. So this one is 10 to 15 more depth than the other one. And we'll get the exhaust. Let's see. That was the exhaust. What am I measuring here? That was exhaust. This is the intake. So the one I screwed up is about 15 lower than the other one. Okay, now this intake says 499. These valves are longer. Yeah, 450. 447. $453, so these are pretty equal. These are probably not equal. Actually, they're pretty close. So if we have on this side, this isn't 4. Oh, they're not 50. I'm short by 50. It's 50 thou difference in install height. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, 600. We had 450. 50 thou difference. So the exhausts are 50 thou deeper than the intakes, and the two exhausts are 15 thou different from each other. Either way, the one I screwed up is the deepest one, which is expected because I screwed it up. All right. Alright, so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about that. I can either cheat or I can leave it. I don't like it the way it is. So I'll think about it. I'll probably want to put a seat in it. I don't like it when I screw up. But oh well. So I'll probably want to put a seat in it, recut it, match it to this one. But the intakes are 50 thou higher than exhaust, so we might have to come back and cut those deeper to get the install height we need. I'll have to see. It's going to be pretty tight with a big can. So that'll be a whole nother issue I got to deal with. Too bad it's not that problem on exhaust, but oh well, it is what it is. Oh well, screwed up. We'll fix it. We'll figure it out. Alright, that's it for tonight. It's 12 o'clock. Time to go home.